He wasn't just there. This was his idea. He's one of the more dangerous individuals this department has charged with murder in the past 12 months.
And now that individual is out on the streets. That is the Albuquerque Police's deputy commander. He, like many, including our next guest, cannot understand a judge's decision to release a suspect in 2 separate murders with only a GPS monitor. What's more puzzling, it comes just after Albuquerque set a record for murders last year, 117 in 2021. Adrian Avila walked with a GPS ankle monitor free due to, well, I guess his good word. He can do whatever he wants until his trial on the 2 killings, including an armed robbery scheme where he lured a victim through social media. He's also accused of killing a man during an illegal gun sale in 2020. This week, Albuquerque District Judge Stanley Whitaker, who we have a picture of at some point, ruled prosecutors could not prove that Avila posed an immediate threat to the community based on what critics call a new risk assessment tool. We bring in Raul Torrez, Bernalillo County, New Mexico District Attorney, with us now. Is there something we don't understand about this case, about how somebody who's accused of 2 murders is out on the street?
Well, I think it's just an example of a system that fundamentally isn't working. We passed bail reform in New Mexico several years ago, and we have just failed to implement it correctly. My office has actually presented a legislative change to the legislature for several years now to try to reset the framework for individuals like Mr. Avila, but unfortunately it just hasn't gained any traction in the state capitol. And so we end up in a situation where on a fairly regular basis, we have the individuals not just charged with low-level crimes, but very violent, dangerous crimes, long criminal histories, and a demonstrated use of weapons, and they are repeatedly released out into the community. And I think the frustration you saw from the police department is a reflection of what's been going on here for the past several years.
Well, and it's not just in Albuquerque. There's cities across the country, small, medium-sized cities that are seeing this huge surge in crime after bail reform. You said it hadn't been implemented correctly. The judge in this case used something called the Arnold tool, the public safety assessment, used in 40 jurisdictions. They say it helps judges determine if defendants can be released on their own recognizance, and it's touted, as you point out, by criminal justice reform advocates. Is the problem that it's not being implemented correctly, or the problem is that it's a bad policy and a bad tool being implemented as planned?
Well, there are a couple issues at play. Number one, I think there was a situation here in Albuquerque where they really tried to get the judges to follow this tool as routinely as possible without really reiterating the fact that they have the ultimate discretion that they can use, and that this instrument is just something that they can rely on, but it's certainly not intended to be a substitute for just common sense and good judgment. But the other thing that's kind of missing from the conversation is that the Arnold tool, when it's been implemented in other jurisdictions, it's been implemented differently. There's actually a supplemental framework that is used to inform the scoring system that's used in those jurisdictions. We tried to adopt the supplemental framework here in Albuquerque, and we were voted down by the other members of the criminal justice system. And so the tool as it's being used here is not, in effect, the same tool that's being used in other jurisdictions across the country. So you're ending up with this uneven scoring system that's resulting in these bizarre assessments.
Well, and also judges who aren't willing to throw the scoring system out the window and say somebody's charged with 2 separate murders, you're staying in jail. Have you guys had situations where suspects had been released on bail because of this scoring system who've gone on to allegedly commit other crimes?
Yes, so we actually have 6 identified people that my office has moved to detain who have subsequently been charged with murder. And so that's not just other acts of violence that include...
This is stunning to me. I just want to make sure I understand this right. There are 6 people who were released because of this scoring system, and the judges in Albuquerque who were then released and went on to be arrested for murder. So, but for this Arnold tool, 6 people would be alive today.
Well, I don't want to put it all on the tool, because ultimately, again, as you mentioned, the judges have the authority to disregard.
I don't know what's worse, blame the judges or blame the tool. But for the judges and the tool, 6 people would be alive.
Yeah, we have at least 6 people who we have moved to detain who have subsequently been released. The most shocking example is somebody that we moved to detain for shooting a loaded .45 in the city, had distribution amounts of fentanyl. We moved for that person's detention. We lost, just like we lost with Mr. Avila. He was placed on a GPS monitor. He was actually wearing the GPS monitor when he committed the murder. And when the Albuquerque Police Department approached the court to obtain the GPS location data, they didn't get a response because the GPS monitoring system wasn't actually active on nights and weekends. So the frustration you're seeing from the police department actually relates to the fact that the GPS substitute for incarceration, wasn't being actively monitored on nights and weekends, which, as you can imagine, is not a slow time for people that are engaged in criminal activity.
It's the time that bad people do bad things. You can imagine that the frustration of the police department is only a fraction of the frustration of the family of the person who was killed in that case. We really appreciate you coming on and talking about this. There's few who are willing to be as honest and direct about the problems, and it's the only way to solve them. It's good to see you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.